Well, I'm very pleased to welcome once again Reverend Gareth Higgs to bring us today's breakfast bite. Hello, Gareth. Hi.
Good, Nathan. Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone listening is well.
Yes, and it's great to see you again. I'm looking forward to what you have to bring us today.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Um, just reading this week a famous passage in the Old Testament um, where everything around a particular poet is kind of desolate and um, is just despair. The nation has been ransacked. The holy city, Jerusalem, has gone completely, and this poet is expressing the kind of anger and fear and hopelessness at the situation. And he says halfway through, "This I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." And I'm just reflecting on that at the back end of last week and over the weekend. And uh, I remembered that I had a Chinese takeaway on Saturday night. It was very, very nice. My wife and I have been out all day doing various things, and this was the easiest thing to do, and it was very, very yummy. But as often is the case with these things, there's more than you actually need to eat in one sitting. And so we both agreed we would we didn't need to eat it all. We could quite happily leave leftovers. After all, it was very yummy. And I decided there and then that the next morning, Sunday morning, I'd probably finish it for breakfast. The look on my wife's face made it perfectly clear that I wasn't doing that for breakfast. But lunchtime, the next day, I had Chinese takeaway cold, and it was kind of leftovers. Now, it was yummy as leftovers, but of course, it was a bit more stodgy. It definitely felt like something had been sort of reconstituted, rather than that fresh, crisp taste that you get when something is fresh. And I think we need to remember the Bible says that the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. So it goes on and on forever. God continually turns up, and then his mercies are new every morning. And it got me thinking that actually it's really good to know that the blessings that God gives us in our life are fresh for us every day. They're not yesterday's blessings. They're not kind of reheated leftovers. Oh, I didn't, these people didn't use up enough of my blessings yesterday, so I'm just going to repackage them, recycle them, and you can have the cast-offs. No, they're brand new and they're fresh and crispy, if you can say such things about God's promises and mercies. They're served up for us day by day. And I think that also not only tells us that God, cares for us and is attentive to us daily, but it also perhaps causes us to reflect too on how much we live in the present. If God gives us enough for each day, mercies that are new every morning, then we don't need to worry so much about next week or next month or next term or etc., or where we're going to stay for Christmas or where we blah, blah, blah. Now, it's obviously natural to get concerned and perhaps sometimes even overwhelmed by pressing demands. But Jesus is saying, but God is saying, I think, through his word, there's enough for today. Just worry about today. Jesus himself said, didn't he? Tomorrow will worry about itself. Just take care of today. And I think God is promising us that if we just walk at his pace and come to him each day asking for enough for the day ahead, he will supply not leftovers, but fresh blessings, mercies that are new every morning, just enough to sustain us through whatever challenge, whatever desolation, whatever despair, whatever good things we're living through at the moment. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies are new every morning. Great is God's faithfulness.
Well, thanks so much, Gareth. So true. We often worry, don't we? And it's so true that there's no need to worry about tomorrow. After all, tomorrow actually never comes, as they
Mm,
say.
mm,
It's just
mm.
no point. I love that analogy that you give, though, of God's promises fresh every morning. They are fresh, crispy,
Yeah,
fresh. It's like fresh bread, you know?
yeah,
When you get a fresh loaf out of the bread maker or whatever,
yeah.
it's lovely. It's nice and spongy and soft,
Right.
and there's a nice crispy crust, and it's really nice.
Yeah,
The next day, it's still nice, but it's not quite as good when it's
that's
nice and
right.
fresh.
That's right.
And yeah, so true. God's mercies are new every morning, and that really helps me at least to understand what that means. So thanks so much, Gareth.
No worries. Thank you.